Hey guys, welcome back to another weekend AMA. It's your host as always, Dylan Israel. God, those windows look pretty bright today. How's everyone doing? We made it, boys. It's Friday. We have now worked. For those of you who saw the video today, we have now worked 66% longer than the last job we quit, which was only 3 days. We made it, boys. They're all right. Legends about us. How's everyone doing, man? Yeah, it was a good first week, man. So for those of you who don't know, I took on a senior software engineer role at a fantastic company, one of the world's largest accounting firms and consulting companies. They work with about 450 of the Fortune 500 companies, so they got people everywhere. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing for this last week. So I think some people thought I was quitting my current job, which I just started on Monday. No, there was a job in between where I relocated. So, but yeah, so I came back and I had a job in 2 weeks. It wasn't that big of a deal, other than the fact that I lost a ton of money. But yeah. So I'm doing full stack. So full stack, senior software engineer, doing full stack JavaScript, which is pretty dope if you ask me. So this weekend I got a lot of stuff to brush up on. First week, when you work at these larger organizations, there's going to be a lot of onboarding, and the company I work with is no different. And so that took like 3 days. Like if you added up every little bit every day, like 2.5 days for the very first week of onboarding stuff. And then after that, getting my environment set up, meetings. When you first get thrown into teams, you have to get comfortable with the team structure, meeting people, transitioning, doing meetings. You probably have more than you normally would have, so that you can learn the product, learn what you're working on, learning what the future is going to be, learning what the past was, learning what your teammates are doing, learning what you're even going to be doing. So your first week is always a little bit unlike the average one. So yeah, and then I've in total, like a lot of these companies have onboarding that goes on many weeks after that, and situations and meetings, and so uh yeah. So a lot of you guys were a little bit confused. So I I thought I made this clear in other videos, but not everyone makes videos. So I got laid off from a company in Tampa, where I was working at, and they said, "Hey, we're going in a different direction. We're gonna give you severance. Go look for another job." An opportunity came along in Idaho. Excuse me, on the other side of the country. Forget if I said that. An opportunity came along in a different side of the country, and I said, "That's fantastic. That sounds like a good opportunity." I would love to know more, and I found out more, and I had a buddy who worked there that could, and it seemed like a good thing. So we packed up all our stuff, did everything that we had talked for a while about moving back west a little bit because my parents are getting older, my mom doesn't work anymore. It's just one of those things, right? We're at that stage in life where you want to spend more time with your parents, um, and so Um, anyhow, so I uh I took the leap of faith. I went down there, and day one I showed up and I was like, God, this is the thing that scares me most at any job is I go to the new job and then I'm like, I'm gonna be a worse developer. That's the thing that scares me above all else. Because you know what happens? You know what happens when that happens? Because I know exactly how this plays out because I've had enough business analysts and project managers to know that that's what ends up happening, that it kills your passion, it kills your drive, and it kills your income. And so what you end up doing is saying, I don't want to be a developer anymore. And then you go and you become a PM, a scrum master, a BA. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't want that to be me. I don't want that to be me. And so, first couple days you try to stay positive. Day two you're like, man, day one's just rough, stress, meeting new people, new environments. I'm just stressed out. That's all it is. And then, you try to talk yourself into it, right? Day two you go back and you're like, oh, it gets worse and worse and worse. And like I think the number one comment on today's video was like they were upset that I couldn't go into the details. Um, and unfortunately, guys, as a professional that's out in the world and on a public platform, I can't say the 40 reasons that I could list because that's not professional. That's not something that I want to put out there. They have their problems. They didn't do. Here's the thing: is most of the time, what I was trying to get across is that companies aren't necessarily trying to do you dirty. That does happen, but most of the time, it's either a misunderstanding or they don't know what they don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and things don't align. Right? It's almost one of those situations where um, you just have to go and see and experience it, and then you instantly know. Like, cause it's just one of those things. Um, oh, I've told them. I have told them. I've been very clear with my previous 3.5 day employer what the reason was for me moving on. But um, the me putting out on a public platform discussing that is not it's not appropriate in my opinion. And you sign NDAs and things like this, so we can talk in generalities, but I can't go into details, guys. But yeah, so I'm very happy at my new job. um, Between that job and this job, I got a slight pay raise going there, but I got a larger pay raise at my current company. If you add like benefits, bonuses, salary increase, we're looking at around $30,000 pay increase, which is pretty good. I'm pretty ecstatic about that. Um, but yeah. So I got a job, guys. Don't worry about me. I'm very happy. I am. Hey, what's going on, Mark Droz, formerly Bitcode, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy, guys. Don't worry about me. Um, yeah, I currently employed. I assume it's normal to quit your job in the first week without any issue. I don't need to give your 2 weeks, etc. Look, man, I didn't. I had things going on, and like, no, I think it's perfectly acceptable. If in the first week you quit, it doesn't work out, it's time to move on. Um, but yeah, man. So I had to take a leap of faith. I came back to Tampa. I didn't have any jobs lined up. I spent one day, guys. We left the very next day. The very next day, we drove, 3,000 miles. All I did, sent my letter of resignation in, hit up the recruiters on LinkedIn. When I got back in 5-6 days, I on LinkedIn, just one comment. Hey guys, I'm available on the market for a front end or full stack role. Please message me. Let's make this happen. Anyhow, so now I work at a giant consulting agency that's in the accounting and tax space. They're fantastic. The technologies I'm working with are fantastic, and it has the thing above all else that I wanted. You know what I wanted? To be a better developer, to make sure that my career progresses. So this weekend I have 4 technologies I need to study to get under my belt, man. So I'm so excited about it. I enjoyed it, and it's a little bit. It's always a rough week when you're getting going and you're getting, accustomed to things. But um, it's not quit your jobs in 3.5 days rough. Like, oh man. Um, what resources will I be learning to use those? So pretty much Udemy. I'll buy a 15-hour course in all of them, and I'll knock them out, and then I'll build some of my own stuff. So I probably won't be able to study all weekend. Luckily, it's a 3-day weekend, so it's pretty good. Yeah. Um, but yeah, look, man, I've worked hard, and that's the one thing I tell you. If you watch my layoff video, the one thing I tell you is always put yourself in a situation skill-wise where you're constantly learning, constantly growing. So the reason, if you have some misfortune, they'll like imagine this. Imagine how miserable you have to be at a job to quit your job in 3 days. Think about that. You show up, you've moved thousands of miles across country, and you show up and you're like, dude, I messed up. Like, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I needed. I am miserable. Absolutely miserable. Day 1, day 2, day 3. Miserable. Your girlfriend's already telling you, like, hey, baby, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like, imagine, put yourself in that mentality. Now, imagine you didn't set yourself up so that you couldn't take a step back. You took one step forward and you said, I'm all in, but I can't take a step back. Sometimes you have to take a step back. Look, this is just one of those things, man. So get your money right, get your skills right, so that if you do get laid off, you do, um, you do go and need to find another job, whether because it wasn't the right environment for you, or maybe you've gained everything you had to gain at organization. That happens, man. I know plenty of people at companies I've used to work at that have no path anywhere else. So you just, and the reason, and they just, sometimes you want to go elsewhere, but you don't have the skills, you don't have the ability, the confidence, whatever it is. You have to put the time, effort, and energy into doing that. So it like here's what the average dev might do when they start a new job. They might just assume that they'll slowly grow in these areas and they'll get it. You know what a good developer does? A good developer takes his weekends for the next 2-3 months, make sure that he becomes a master of these technologies that he's familiar with but isn't, an expert in. And so I get paid too much money not to be proficient in the things they need me to be proficient in. So yeah, man. I'm not saying it wasn't rough. It wasn't rough in the way that it's rough for a lot of people. A lot of people, they don't have $400 or $500 to their name. That's rough. It's easy to get the finance aspect once you understand, once you make good money and you're smart with your money to have that. Um, am I still in Florida? Yeah, yeah. This is my house, guys. We actually just got furnishing. We put new ceiling fans in all the room. Can you guys see that? It's hard to see, but they're nice. Cool the house down a little bit. But yeah, man. So anyhow, don't worry. I'm happy at my new job. I'm not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, I'll be here for many years, many years. I think mainly because I don't think anyone will pay me better. I'm happy. I'm learning, and there's a ton of room for growth, and the benefits are out of this world. Out of this world, man. Why did I change from my other office? No, the benefits are even better than the last job. Yeah, I probably said that before I worked those 3 days. So, yeah, man. I think the only company I'd even consider is probably Google or Microsoft. Those are really the only two I'm interested in. Where's the fancy oil diffuser? Yeah. Whatever work for a major city like San Francisco, New York? No. No, I don't like being broke. They just don't pay you enough money. In New York City, I did a comparison. Here, I'll tell you what. Let's see. Let me do. I'll tell you what the cost of living would be for my salary from Tampa to New York. So let's say, not counting benefits, but we'll count bonuses. So if I get a bonus of about, I don't know, let me see here. Here, you guys want to know how much it would take to, okay. So I'll probably clear, if we count my bonuses, about 125, 130. And New York, in Queens, New York, they would have to pay me 240,000, and that doesn't account for taxes, which they're going to take another like 11% or something ridiculous like that off. Yeah, you hear people are receiving 250 in San Francisco. San Francisco is like 1.1 million to have an equivalent cost of living. My point is this: is that most people don't get paid that, especially developers, and most developers will take like 150 and think they're balling hard. I make more money staying in Tampa, and if anything, I would just do remote. How were you able to find a job so fast? I worked hard a long time ago so that if something like this ever happened. I haven't heard of Pivotal. Pivotal. Where do you start? I would just go on Glassdoor and look at their interviews. What are the posters on the wall behind me? We have a functional programming right here, and then we have um, code. What's it? Eat, sleep, code, repeat. That's right. And then we have a bunch of posters. But yeah, why did I change? So part of the reason I decided to take this room up here was that I was sick of having April make a bunch of noise downstairs, and so I wanted to have a little bit more of a quiet space where I could work and study and be separate from everything. Because downstairs is our bedroom, downstairs is the living room, the kitchen. Yeah, I just bought a 75-inch TV, baller. I'm waiting for it to go on. It goes on the wall on Monday. I haven't had someone put it up. Live, laugh, love poster kind of guy? No, man, I'm not that type of guy. But I'm definitely eat, sleep, code, repeat type of guy. Dude, it's so sick. It's gonna get mounted on the wall. Yeah, I'd be that guy with the kitten poster hang in there before I'm the live, love, laugh type of guy. Can't believe you've become senior dev. Hey man, it's been almost 3 years grinding, nonstop grinding. This weekend is no different, man. I have to pick up Redis. I have to dive deeper into Node, Express, and MongoDB, and probably Mongoose if I had to guess. What can I suggest for you if you struggle with JavaScript? You've been doing consistency is the thing I suggest more than anything else. No React, no. I'll be doing Angular, TypeScript, some Sass, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, but yeah. So I'll be doing some full stack mean stack basically at the end of the day, which is exactly what I wanted. That's another thing that makes me so excited about the stack. Full stack JavaScript is the dream. The dream, all right? What would you say drives you the most, man? So negative role models drive me the most. The book I'm writing, I have this huge section about negative role models. And what I mean by that is it's very easy to see that guy out there that has their shit together and you're like, I want to be like him one day. Like that's a good thing. And that works for some people. That doesn't work. You see that rich guy, nice car, and you say, "Yeah, I'd like to have a nice car one day. I'd like to have a house one day." But what has worked for me are negative role models, the people who I don't want to be like. And the way I equate it is like you're either running towards something, that's okay. But if you're running away from something, you are way more motivated to run away from something than you are to run towards something because you definitely don't want to be like that. And you're like, that'd be great if I was like that one day. And so for me, it's been people like the guy who, when I was just getting going and I was doing like coding videos on the channel, and I went to a meetup, and he said to me, "Hey man, I didn't know pizza drivers could do coding tutorials." And you just sort of smile and nod, and you make a note to yourself that never to be that senior dev, never to be that guy that shits on other people instead of raise people up. Okay, you look at people in your family who don't have their finances together, and they're at retirement ages, and they're still having to work, and they're probably going to work till they can't, not till they don't want to, but till they physically can't. And you say, I can't have that happen to me. I can avoid that. I can avoid it all. Having your own mistakes of the past, killing yourself with credit card debt, and then saying, God, I'm so sick of this, man. I want to make interest instead of pay interest, and learning from your mistakes. That is what kept me motivated. The negative parts of what I don't want to be as a man, as a boyfriend, as a future father down the road whenever that shit happens. As a baby daddy to a puppy and 3 cats. And, negative role models is what kept me most motivated. To the people who have lost their jobs, whether it's in tech space or not, and then like losing your job is like, oh my god, my life is over. I have nothing in the bank. I'm gonna be homeless, and no one's ever gonna hire me again. My skills aren't relevant. Those are the things that have kept me motivated, saying I never ever ever want to be like these people, not because they're bad people, but because they've made bad choices and they're in bad situations. I don't want to be in bad situations. We've had enough of bad situations. I've had my mother bring me groceries. I've been sleeping on floors. I'm done with that. There is no reason why we would ever need to go back to that if we just make single smart choices. We could even make some mistakes along the way. No big deal. Everyone has high points, everyone has low points, but we need to keep it pushing. We need to keep getting better. We need to keep grinding. We need to keep growing. And what that's going to be is uncomfortable. It's going to be near uncomfortable. I could tell you right now, this week for me was uncomfortable because now I'm being pressured into doing these technologies faster than I thought I was going to be. So great. I have to study this weekend. This is what I wanted. I wanted to be thrown into things. And that means I'm uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, you go get comfortable. How do you get comfortable? By figuring it out, by doing what you need to do. So that's how I've stayed motivated. How do you overcome learning prototypes and functioning constructors? Really, if you just think of prototypes as bootleg classes, um, and really, a lot of times you don't really with the ES6 syntax for classes. If you're familiar with object-oriented programming at all, it sort of works all the same way. You just have to be careful with inheritance. People for the most part are going to be using you don't think people know what you mean by grinding? I can tell you exactly what I mean by grinding. Grinding is simple. Grinding is giving up the now for having a greater later. That's all it is. That's all it is. You say, "Hey, I want to play phones. I want to play something on my phone." You don't do it. Instead, you read a blog on Medium. You say, "Hey, I want to go out with my boys." Instead, you don't do it. You stay in and you code that project. You do something. You get rid of your game systems. You save $1. You pay off all your credit card debt. You don't get that new car you want. Grinding is taking care of now and building a future so you can enjoy it later. That's all it is. You got to put in the time now. Things just don't happen, guys. Things just don't happen. Like, that's the thing people need to understand. None of this just happened. Yeah, I'm grateful. There's always some luck that's involved, but what you have seen on this channel is 4 years of someone every single day doing something. 4 years growing and saying, look, I'm delivering pizzas now. School's not working out for me. How can I change that path? This making decisions. I want to be a developer. What do I have to do to get there? Going and doing that. I want to get better. And I'm going to try some things. Oh, I'm going to do QA bootcamp. That'd be fun. And I'm in this good position. Oh, you know what? Damn it, man. I've started a new job. I'm really dropping the ball. Okay, cool. Move on to that. Oh, I'm gonna take this position across state. Oh, it didn't work out. Okay. How many things have worked out? Oh, I'm gonna do free code camp to teach me JavaScript. Fantastic. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. Fantastic. Turns out very passionate about that. I'm gonna learn about investing. I'm gonna buy my first house. You have to take chances. So none of these things happen. You learn, you grow, you mature. You got to pull the trigger on some things, and sometimes you shoot yourself in the foot, and sometimes you get a bullseye. I don't know. Sorry, my headset's dying. But you keep challenging yourself, you keep trying, and all you can do is keep getting better and try to only worry about the things that you can control and try to help those people that you care about in your life, your family, your friends. Well, questions that you get on Glassdoor actually come up. Sometimes, most of the time, you'll probably get similar questions. We'll give you an idea of what to study. Connor says, is CSS, HTML, JavaScript enough to get your foot in the door? I mean, it all depends on the company organization. I would highly recommend that you pick up Git. I'd also highly recommend you pick up a front end framework. And if you want to go the extra mile, I'd recommend that you pick up a testing library, Jasmine, mocha chai, whatever you want to do. What's the other one I played around with recently? Um, Jest. I really like Jest. Dolan would play me in this documentary. Um, should I take a first dev job at a bad company? Absolutely. Experience over everything. That's one thing I talked about. Is like everything I'm saying in this video is relevant unless you're getting your first junior dev job. At that point, it's you take whatever you deal with the negativity, you deal with the poor code quality, whatever the situation may be. You just deal, and maybe day one you're looking elsewhere. Keep moving forward. When should you use strict? Always, if it still matters. I don't think it matters anymore in browsers, though. I think use strict is sort of deprecated, if I remember correctly. Am I putting that 3-day company on my resume? No, I'm not. Do you use the ECMAScript reduce method frequently in your code? Um, I mean, I use it when I need to, right? So the things that I would say that you want to be comfortable with the right methods. You want to be comfortable with map. You want to be comfortable with filter, reduce. You want to just be comfortable and know these are things, right? So, can you tell us the difference between interviewed students from boot camps versus those in college? Yeah, the students from boot camps did a lot better. So, too many people cheat through college. Um, the unfortunate thing. Um, but yeah, they did much better. They had projects to show. They oftentimes worked with the tools and technologies that you were actually working with. One of the sort of downsides to college is a lot of time they're just not teaching you what uh, that you work with, and that's okay for the right candidate. But it's rough out there. I'm doing the mean stack at my new job. Uh, is that true? That sounds good for competition and job security. Yeah. Um, do you think your channel is a factor in getting in touch with recruiters? Not really recruiters. I would say that recruiters just reach out to me, man. I don't have any issues getting recruiters. They find me on LinkedIn. It's not through the YouTube channel though. I would say that it's definitely a factor in that people like that about me. They like that I'm that sort of candidate. When do you know you're ready to start applying for jobs? Whenever you're starting thinking about it, just go for it. If you had two offers of equal weights, but one was remote, which one would you choose? It would depend on where I was at in my career. So, if I was a junior developer, I'd go on site. Part of the reason is you're going to learn better. Part of the reason is you're going to have the ability to grow. If I'm a senior, I'd probably take the remote. So, your first real goal, your first real goal, for a lot of you guys want to make money, right? A lot of you guys want to have a solid job. You want to change your lives. You want to, you know, you want to grow. You want to you want to start that next phase of life with a solid career. And if that's your goal is to make a lot of money, your goal is to have a good career and progress. What you need to do is be there on site for those first couple jobs because you're going to learn, you're going to grow, you're going to studies have shown you make more money. Studies have shown that you're less likely to get fired. Studies have shown you're more likely to get promoted. And think about you have access to resources being there. So it sucks. I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm not super stoked about being on site all the time. But I'm now at the point in my career where I don't need to be there. I don't need to be there. I know what I'm doing in every aspect. Not every aspect of my job, but I know what I'm doing to the point where that benefit of what I was giving up to go to work and back isn't there anymore. Do I need to worry about leak code problems as my targets are small to mid-sized companies? Yeah. You need to be able to do some algorithm solutions. Have I gotten rid of the PMI yet? No. After this sort of setback, it's probably going to be about 4 to 5 more months. No, I haven't considered going into net admin, but I would imagine that you should probably just go into DevOps. I use frameworks. Do they question you on time complexity of algorithms? Sometimes. It depends on the organization. Have you closed the deal on new investment property? No, that fell through when I ended up moving back. I had to cancel that. I found the sickest house too. I loved it, man. Yeah, no, I'm in Florida, guys. So I'm in Florida, and I'll be here for a while. How much does my current job pay me? Well, let's see. If you count, I have I just there's other ways I make money from my job. Um, but I have a 115 base, a 13% bonus, and then I have about um some other things that vest over a period of time for about 7% of my salary. So, um, and there's a bunch of other benefits, PTO, all that sort of stuff. So I'm doing good, guys. I'm doing all right. Things not going well for me. Just because you have one bad hiccup uh doesn't mean that things aren't going well. I think I've had the best. What does a 13% bonus mean? It means I get a bonus of 13% my base salary depending on certain things. So if my, some of it's company performance, some of it's whatever. So like if I make 115,000 and I get a 13% bonus, that means I get, did I do this right? I think I did this wrong. So I make 115,000 times 0.13. That if I get my full bonus, I'll get $14,950 on top. Yeah, and then you have other ways that you can make money and things like that. But yeah, man, things are going great, man. I got the best job I've ever got. How many years of experience do you have? That's always hard to answer, but I usually say around 3. Um, yeah, around 130. But then you have other ways. So then I can get over 5 years, about 7% a year, through 401k and other methods and things like that. So that's just what I started at, right? It's going to go up over the years. But watching good anime lately? Yeah, I did. Yo, man, I'm a little bummed out with One Punch Man. I'll be honest with you. One Punch Man season 2 hasn't been as good as we all wanted it to be, but it's still One Punch Man. So I've been enjoying that. And then Attack on Titan season 3 part 2. Yo, has not disappointed. I'm enjoying them both though. That's basically what I'm watching right now. Um, I've been a little bit busy, man. Like I haven't really done too much. Like someone's like, "Oh, your video's been dropping off." Yeah, I'm trying to go back up to 2 videos a week right now, and I have that for the last week or two. But part of that is I had to go and buy furniture for the house. We furnished some rooms. We got some stuff, so we've been putting in ceiling fans in every room. We been doing some shopping. Just getting situated, guys. So Dragon Ball Super. I watched all of Dragon Ball Super. It was all right. It was a letdown. I don't know if I was more let down by the Game of Thrones season finale or the Dragon Ball Super season finale. Will I create a second channel just to shoot the shit? That's what we shooting the shit here, man. Um, I guess the new company doesn't care about you disclosing your salary, so there's nothing against you disclosing your salary legally. So, um, yeah, I've always been pretty honest about it for the most part. I don't have any issue talking about it. So I don't know. A lot of people are really uncomfortable talking about money. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a fine thing. I think more people should do it. We all be in a better position. So What would you be looking for pay wise based in the UK? I have no idea, man. I built an open source library. Can I get hired now? Probably. Yeah. How old are the devs you've worked with at your in your workplace? So I've worked at devs that were around the same age, 28 at the time, and now I'm 31. I would say of the people that I work with now, I'm probably one of the youngest. Yeah, Glassdoor salaries are always. I'm either getting paid a lot or people are just lying on Glassdoor. I don't know. At work, are you allowed to move around or lay down on a sofa to work from a laptop, or are you sitting researching and coding 8 hours a day? Yeah, man. Most workplaces, most good workplaces, are not going to be like whipping you. Get back to work. They want you to stretch your legs. They want you to relax. They understand that you need to de-stress to go back to it. Um, you know. Do you find that draining your mind? Do you feel the need for more exercise? I need more exercise in general. Yeah. Um, so whenever I've work out consistently, I'm a coding god. Like I've been working out consistently for 6 weeks. That code is fire. And don't get me wrong, normally it's a fire, but now it's like a wildfire. You know what I mean? Like um but no, yeah, definitely. So whenever you exercise consistently, there's been so many studies showing your brain health goes with it. And so it's so crucial. Classic WoW. See, I was talking with a buddy of mine about Classic WoW, and I think what people are sort of hyped up on Classic WoW about is that back in the day, like everyone was playing WoW, your buddies were on it, and you're having a good old grand time like 15 years ago, and it's not like that anymore. And people people they're trying to recatch that high almost to a degree, and they're going to play it and they're going to realize that it's just the same old, and they're going to be sadly disappointed. That's what I think is going to happen. Will it be fun? Yeah, of course. WoW's fun. I don't have anything against WoW, but what made you quit nootropics? uh Eventually, a lot of the ones I took were just making me feel sick over time, and that stuff's not good for you long terms. You honestly don't think exercise helps with your mental health? Like I understand the hesitation on like study this, study that. Um but you honestly don't. I mean, I could just tell you from my personal experience, forget the studies, that I have found that to be true. Have I seen other devs burn out in the workspace? Yeah. Um I think my previous tech lead from 2 jobs is almost in a constant state of burnout. Um but he's going to do what he's going to do. I have nothing but respect for him, by the way. I just think he's definitely burnt out. Are there short periods of time where on projects where you have flexibility in your schedule? I mean, yeah, man, every company you work at is going to have some sort of vacation. You got to take vacation. I'm a senior software engineer. That's what the position you should compare me to. What are the main differences in job duties you're performing? It's hard to tell um, in your first week, but mainly I went from front end to full stack, so that'll mean that I'll be handling back end applications as well, handling the back end portion of it as well. Was the interview harder or easier? About the same. So this is the funny thing. So earlier on in my career were the were the harder interviews. Part of it, I think, is like part of it is the fact that two things. One, I have so much content out there. Like you want to say, hey, does this guy know TypeScript? I have courses, two courses on TypeScript. I got one on my YouTube channel. I got one on Scrimba. And it's on my resume. This guy know JavaScript. I got two courses I got paid for on Scrimba. And I have two courses on YouTube. And then I have, I'm sure, other courses out there I'm not even thinking of. It's like, does this guy code? I have 900 videos talking about software on my channel. And so like there's that aspect where we can avoid all this sort of silliness, like like at the very least I'll be able to write a for loop, you know what I mean? Um and then we can have conversations talking about higher level things. So this is the sort of things that I get talked about. So I don't, there are companies that are going to ask me to do algorithms or say, hey, can you do this and use breadth first search and things like that. Those are the ones I don't do too good on, because I haven't done those traditional algorithms in probably like 5 years since I was back in 4 years since I was back in school. Um, is that a baby glider in the background? Baby glider chair? No, man, that's one of those IKEA chairs. Um, When is the when is the bare knuckle boxing Pauly Malignaggi and the goat Artem Lobov? When is that? I'm looking forward to that. Thought you're prepping for nursing? Nah, man. As they say. 2021. That's when April and I are planning on having kids. 2021. That gives us a little bit more time to pay the house down. We're looking at buying an investment property. Um, you know, she's looking to go back to work and make some money. So all these sorts of things. So we're trying to get our finances to where I want them to be. Because you have little dolons running around. You want to make sure you're in a good place. And I understand that a lot of the stuff that I currently do, I probably won't be able to do. Um, so. But yeah, so my hardest interviews were in junior dev because that's when they're really testing you just to see if you can write code. Period. How did I learn JavaScript? Free Code Camp. Honest to God, I just did free Code Camp every single day and did everything I could on their platform at the time. Any news on the paleo diet? So we were talking about that, but no, we haven't really been doing any dieting. Dude, Gator, Gator, have you guys seen? Have I shown you this dog? Let me call him up here. We weighed him the other day. Oh my god, he's 60 pounds plus. Let me see if I can get him in here. Gator, come here, buddy. Come here, puppy. Get up here, big boy. Come on. Anyhow, so for you guys who don't know, my puppy is about 7.5 years old. And he's a beast. Huh. Huh. You're a big boy. Ah. Ah. So this is my 7.5-year-old puppy who is 60 plus pounds, and he's probably gonna grow another 15 or 20 pounds by the end of the year. Oh, big boy. Oh, you haven't seen this puppy before? I've shown him a couple live streams, but he's been growing like. I think we're feeding him steroids. I swear to God. So one of the puppy chows had to have steroids. Okay, get out of here. Go get your toy. Go get your toy, dude. That's a puppy. Yeah, he's 7.5 months. Yeah, we've been feeding him large breed puppy chow, which is so he's an Australian Shepherd, purebred Australian Shepherd. Um, honest to God, man. So I've always sort of been a cat guy, and since I was a child, and when we got him about 6 months ago, it sort of Does the one cat still have anxiety due to Gator? No. Like that cat is actually been at ease now that we have Gator, because Gator like makes noise when there's guests, and the cat now sort of like he's the one that I would say likes him the most. um, yeah, dogs are a lot of work. So like, not only did we fence in the whole house, which cost us like for 250 feet of fence, like 5 grand. I think it was like 5,500. Um, then you have all the items you have to get him, all the food. We spend probably double what we spent on 3 cats on food for him. But yeah, it's been fantastic, man. Having a dog, I love it. I've absolutely love it. Um, yeah, did I see Sage Northcutt get his face broken? Yes. Oh my god. They put him in there with a killer, man. Sage thought he was gonna walk into an easy fight, and that guy just got mauled. I don't know how you go back to being a professional MMA fighter when your face caves in like that. I just don't know how you do it. I Thoughts on competitive programming sites? I really say just use those as practice. Yeah, my cats welcome me to the house, man. Yeah, we did fence the house. Um, but yeah, man, I love having a dog. It has been one of the only things that has helped me deal with my own anxiety, my own stress, and being able to allow me to sort of take a break from just always grinding, and like it has been a fantastic thing for me. Yeah, I love having a dog. We took him to the dog beach last weekend, swimming in the water. He got punked by this big old 100-pound like lab and like pit bull mix who just took his toy and was just like laughing at him the whole time. And he didn't. Oh man. Did coding come quite natural to you as a real struggle? I'd say it was a struggle, as it should be. Any good books or sites for stocks? Not that I'm aware of or can recommend. How's the web dev job market for the next 5 years? I think it's going to keep growing, man. Just get good. That's it. I keep on telling people, just become a good software engineer. Just become a good web developer. Um, It'll be fine. Yeah, and like here's the thing. Byron has the right idea. Like when you go to these hackathons or these contests, whatever you want to call them, and you're hacking away, and you're like, "Yo, I have no business being here." Have fun, build something. And one thing I include to this day is a hackathon project from like 2015 that I did. Web dev and software engineer are pretty different, though, if you say so. It typically just revolves around what technologies you're working in and what you mean by web dev, I guess. What makes a portfolio stand out for newbie devs? Um, I mean, what I would recommend is that you have a CRUD application, and I recommend you have a portfolio site, and then I'd just recommend you have a unique project. And then if you really want to blow someone away, you could do something with service workers. I don't get hackathons. You actually hack something. So it depends on the hackathon, but you have organizations like Angel Hack or even just companies, and what basically happens is they have products or APIs or whatever. They have something they want you to build something with. Doesn't matter what it is. They actually just want to see what you come up with, how you utilize their technology, and then you get prizes. And you usually have like maybe 12 to 48 hours. Um, that you have to build something out, and maybe you show up with a team, maybe you get a teammate, maybe you go solo. All of them sort of, it all sorts of depends. you know. Speaking of which, I haven't seen what Angel Hack's been up to in a while. Yeah, So they have upcoming hackathons in Seattle, Silicon Valley, and Manhattan. Where's the Tampa? Angel Hack. Where's the Tampa? Oh. Where can I practice algorithms? You could do it on HackerRank. You could do it on Code Signal. You could do it on what do you call that? On Free Code Camp. There's lots of great places. Leak code, yeah. Yeah, I also have a 100 algorithm challenge course where I go over 100 algorithms, walk you through them, give you some problems to practice. You can check that out in the description below for just 10 bucks. Forgot about that. Do I code in PHP? Never. All right, guys, I'm getting kind of hungry. No, I didn't. I didn't hear about YouTube removing the feature for Social Blade. Um, but anyhow, I'm getting kind of hungry. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the donator donated $5 earlier. I appreciate that. That helps me go pay this house off a little bit earlier. Um, lots of good stuff. I appreciate that. And if you're interested in my courses or anything, any of the items I recommend, the books, those types of things, there's links in the description below. I wish you all the best, and look forward to my video on Monday where we talk about MongoDB a little bit, little bit, little bit. See you guys later. Have a good weekend. Have a good 3-day weekend. Bye.